Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here. I was going through some of my footage from E3, and I thought it was a little bit of a shame that I didn't share some of the stuff I recorded with you guys. One of the things I recorded was gameplay for Zombie Army 4 Dead War. And I'm sure some of you guys have heard of this series, and maybe some of you haven't, and that's okay. But this is a game coming out in early 2020. And I thought I had some pretty okay gameplay. I ended up getting 200 kills, and most of those kills are straight from my gun. So the gameplay, has a lot of gunplay in it. And obviously I learn as I go, so the gameplay gets better the longer you watch, which I think is also good. But I end up getting over 200 kills, and I think our team of 3 here gets around 400. So I thought I did pretty good. At the beginning, I did kind of struggle with some of the mechanics, not really fully understanding things like how I earned ammo back, which you just pick up from ammo bins. I wasn't really sure how the skills work, so at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that as you're playing, there are like 3 skills, and they work similar to a game like Overwatch, where they kind of either build over time or build as you kill, and then you can kind of activate them when they're full in order to do something, special or specific for your character. At the beginning of the gameplay here, I'm just going to kind of skip forward. It does seem like some people maybe got a little lost. We're kind of just running around and wasting time, and I don't want to waste your time watching us waste time. So I'm basically just going to fast forward to all the good parts at the beginning here. I did pick up a weapon upgrade, and I did pick up a kind of electric barrel for my weapon, which allows me to basically shoot electricity out of my gun, and it kind of chains between enemies, which I thought was really cool. Now, this game does come out in 2020, and obviously I recorded this in June, which means that it has at least another 6 months to go, but the gameplay felt actually really tight. You will see a couple of, I would say, glitches or problems with the game. Most notably at the beginning here, there are some audio syncing issues. You'll know that when I'm shooting, you won't really hear the audio that goes with it. I would say that's completely normal for a game this far out. And there's also a couple of choppy bits also at the beginning in terms of frame rate. Optimization is always something that happens right at the end of development, so that's not something I'm worried about at all. I did want to focus more on the actual gunplay feel and the design of the game, which were both components I really enjoyed, and I can really see myself enjoying this game with a group of 4 friends, or 3 friends plus myself, to make a group of 4 for 4-player co-op. Playing this on a harder difficulty and working our way through the campaign, I can imagine that to be a lot of fun. So you'll notice that I have a sniper rifle, I have a SMG, and I have a pistol. I also have some grenades, and at the bottom of the screen I have those skills I was talking about. I believe one of them is for like an instant melee, and one of them is to like slow down my SMG so it becomes more accurate, and it kind of slows down time. I think the other one is for stabbing people as well. You'll also notice on the right side of the screen sometimes there'll be like combos. Based on those combos, you earn your skills back faster if I understood it correctly as I was playing. But this first area is a little bit tight. I end up running out of ammo and kind of not knowing exactly what I'm doing, but I end up trying to figure out how the skill system works and figure out the mechanics of the game before we move on and then really go crazy. One cool thing that I learned about the game, unfortunately, after I played, is that each of these kind of main areas where you kind of get surrounded by zombies has some kind of a trap in it. So this area, if I were to look up and kind of to the side, there's a little like box I can shoot down. It comes crashing down and kills a bunch of enemies. Later on, you'll see a propeller, and if you were to shoot that, it sucks in all the zombies and kind of chops them up. And then at the very end, I also believe there's like an electric floor trap, which is very cool. Now, at this part, I kind of ran out of ammo, and you'll see that some of the zombies are being, like, revived. There are certain enemy types that can revive zombies, so you have to kind of, plan what zombies you're going for based on what their abilities are in order to kind of help your team the best. Also, in terms of story, if you guys are wondering, I never played Zombie Army Trilogy, but as I understand, this is a direct sequel to that game. So the events of that game lead into the events of this game, and that means that I believe these zombies aren't under any of like the Nazi control that the other ones were in the other game, at least for the time being. I believe the game takes place mostly in Italy, but I do believe there are some locations yet to be announced. In terms of the achievement list, I actually did get a chance to see it. Unfortunately, I didn't get permission from the dev to share it, so I can't really talk about that too much, but I can say that it is a Rebellion game, and you could probably expect some Rebellion-type achievements. During the gameplay, you'll also notice that I am a little bit greedy with some of the explosives. There are all these canisters kind of littered around the map, and when you open them up, sometimes you get frag grenades or you know, trip mines and stuff like that. It didn't really seem like my team was using them much, and we didn't really have much communication over the microphone system, so I ended up just kind of taking charge and stealing those for myself in order to kind of grab more kills and whatnot. You can get downed, and then you can get revived by a teammate. I believe some characters have the ability to revive themselves. And there's also health kits you'll need to pick up. Sometimes enemies will drop them. Sometimes they'll be picked up from like crates and whatnot. And I also believe that the kind of main skill I have here, the big one in the middle of the screen there, allows me to basically like shoot through enemies, and it just destroys everything in its path. So there's like a group of like 8 zombies all in a row. You can kind of use that skill just to destroy all of them in one bullet without having to worry too much. Also, this game is made by Rebellion. If you are unaware, they are the guys who brought you the Sniper Elite series. They brought you Zombie Army Trilogy. Recently, they came out with Strange Brigade, which I actually thought was a very underrated co-op game. It didn't do anything exceptionally well, but it did enough that it was fun and worth playing. And I think I talked a little bit about it in depth in my most underrated games of 2018. And I actually think Zombie Army Trilogy is going to be one of those underrated games in 2020, where I think I'm going to enjoy it and going through it with my friends and whatnot. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, something I replay multiple times in the hardest difficulty, but I do like the zombie-style games, whether it's zombies in Call of Duty or, you know, Horde in Gears of War. These types of modes and these types of games are ones I enjoy a lot. The co-op style, the one where you're just shooting baddies and everything's dying into one bullet. It's all about getting hundreds and hundreds of kills, working out with your inventory and your traps, and trying to figure out like how to upgrade your weapons or your skill trees. Not much of an RPG guy, but when it comes to skill trees, I like to see them in shooters, especially when they're co-op shooters. Nonetheless, guys, this is the rest of the gameplay. I'm going to leave you guys with it. It starts getting really good just after this section, in my opinion, in terms of like my aiming and in terms of like my combos and whatnot. I figured out all of the mechanics at some point right about now. There's actually a little bit of story and cutscene to come as well. But Zombie Army 4 Dead War, I believe this mission was called Dead End, by the way. I think there's a whole bunch of missions you can expect that kind of take you all around. But early 2020, if you guys have questions, let me know. I'll see if I can answer them. If you're in for a co-op shooter that's kind of just mindless fun, this one might be it. If you're looking for a, you know, solo story experience, this game is probably not for you. I will probably also cover this game when it does fully come out, so you can expect guides for stuff like gold bars, collectibles, weapon upgrades, or anything like that. I will have videos on the channel more than likely. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I see you next time. A special thank you to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. Peace.
Oh, that's a blood seal. That's not good.
automatic armament turbines. If you see one, shoot it, and it'll activate the defense mechanism. Should help you out.
Maybe we're too coherent. This land, mine!
This was supposed to be a safe place. The dead will pay for this desecration.
Survivors here.
Found medkit. Applying medkit. Don't die! We haven't won yet!
I'm reloading. Suicide down!
Disgusting. How dare you! The return of the suiciders is a grave sign. The war is not yet over.
His grenade!